Okay, Dewey Vicarda, Kunisatativ, Misha Owen from Bitesize Irish as to Emma and Shaw, Emma Kunisatatu.
Tom Gahuntagon, agus Duhain.
Tom Ausger Mila Mahagut. We'll blast off with a bit of an intro first. Yup. We don't do too more play that. A group in Japan who shared their music on SoundCloud originally. Look, we're here because it's launch week for Aistear at Bitesize Irish. That's our new Irish language learning platform, and we have a live Q&A. We're going to keep it quite short, but we really will be looking at your comments here on the live video. So please be typing away. Let us know where you are in the world as well, and let us know if you have joined Aistear already this week. We have hit 100 members of Aistear, which is crazy, Emma.
Woo! Brilliant. That's excellent.
Yeah.
There's only been 2 days since we launched, so that's absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted. Mila Mahago to everyone who's signed up so far.
Yeah, it's really a show of faith of people. Like, there's a lot of people watching this. Probably you're likely familiar with Bitesize Irish to some extent, and we set off on this new journey, and Aistear launching the new platform, improving on what we have already, and creating a lot of more content with hundreds of new audio recordings, loads of new lessons, new scripts for Bitesize Bio. So we asked for your questions, and we're going to go through some of the questions that came in. And Emma, you'll be shouting out comments as well that come in. So Siobhan will be joining us in a few minutes. I see she's coming on. The first question, we'll take it from Martin. And Martin said, may I ask, will there be new scripts added? And if so, how many added to Bitesize Bio? So Siobhan, Tamila Huacher, lesson streaming-ish. I thought you were. A bit of feedback there, so we'll see how the audio is. So, Huan, can you tell us what is Bitesize Bio? Who's it for? How does it relate to Aistear? And then there was the question about the added scripts as well.
All right, so Bitesize Bio, it's for every level. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're more advanced, you're going to get something from it, perhaps just in a different manner. So, for example, if you're a beginner learner and you attend a Bitesize Bio session, which is held every Tuesday, then you might be more just listening in, using the bit of vocabulary you know, and just using these scripts to just see how the sentences are generally structured, and then you'll get a good idea of how conversations are usually held, because it's based on scripts. So you have a scripted conversation, so it's not about making up your own conversation. So that greatly helps, confidence-wise especially, but also to teach people how to actually word a sentence. Because when you think of it, all common sentences in Irish or in any language, they're very similar. And when you know all the common ones, you'll be able to restructure them yourself to say something a bit more unique. And then if you're more advanced, even if all of the script comes to you easily, then there's always something to work on. There might be a new word, or even at the end of the Bitesize Bio sessions, there's a sort of question and answer time. So there are different questions relating to the script, and everyone asks each other a question, and you answer it in your own words. And if you don't know how to answer the question, we'll help out and structure the question for you, or help you word it, or rather the answer. So that's how it caters for all levels really, and everyone in between, of course, as well. And when it comes to the new scripts, there's 3 new scripts in in Aistear. So there's 3 new ones that'll help you out in everyday situations at home and outside of the home.
We had good fun on our team calls, doing a bit of role play, testing out on the new scripts. It was good fun. What I actually like about the new scripts, Siobhan, and just to be clear again, it's for Grow members who sign up. So if you sign up, there's information at the bottom of your screen. It is launch week, so if you sign up this week, you'll get your first month half price. What I like about the new scripts is they're a bit more advanced. So the existing scripts, they start, there's a introducing yourself, Cora Everahane, the first one, and they change in topic, but quite day to day, but like relevant modern vocab being introduced in the new Coras. So it'll be interesting to give them a go in the future bite-sized bios that will be Biona that will be coming up soon. Yeah. Emma, do you want to go through comments that have come in so far, because we've a couple of our good members with us as well, don't we?
Kinta. So I see, a couple of shout outs. Pather, I see one of our lovely Grow members, Díomh, Owen, Emma, agus Juan, Tasula gom go bhfuil sibh go maith in Jobh. Well, gur mar agat, Pather, Tommy go húntach, agus Tasula goin go bhfuil tusa go maith chomá, so gur míle maith agat as a bheith seo. So thanks to Pather, he's making sure that we're all well, and we are, and we wish the best to him as well, and looking forward to seeing you in the Biona and on Pobble and the rest of it. Aegon as well. Gurmina Mahagot Aegon, excited for the new Bio scripts. So yeah, we've a good few members joining us, and you will enjoy the scripts. We've done our practice run with them and ourselves, and they're very good. And Siobhan did really good work on them. And I also see Martin's here, who asked the question if the scripts were coming. So deal with Martin, and yes, we have 3 new scripts for you and all of the Grow members.
Yeah, fab. It's really nice to have our friends here joining in and showing support.
Jim Homa, plenty of you. I won't get all of you on, but keep your questions coming in, Akhorja, and your greetings, and we love seeing the traffic going on.
So anybody who's here already, and if you have joined Astra already, do leave a comment. What was your initial impression about TUSMA, our foundational Irish language course? Which is a good time to take Deanne's question, who wrote, will you cover sentence construction in Aistear? Now, yes and no. Okay, so far, how I would explain it is TUSMA, the foundational course that Neil built, with taking some content that we had already and modernizing it, but breaking it into a structured journey of 10 modules with about 10 lessons in each one, adding quizzes, all that stuff. So Neil has addressed quite topical stuff, useful as in, for example, what did you do at the weekend? So you're talking about the past. So you're talking about what did you do in the past few days? We've got talking about the present and the future. So I think he focuses in on those 3 tenses. So why am I saying that? With verbs and tenses, you're starting to express yourself, and there's loads of examples throughout the lessons. Now, I don't think in TUSMA there's any one particular lesson that covers like the fact that the verb comes first, VSO. Siobhan, Emma, you've gone through TUSMA as well. For this question about do we cover sentence structure, have you seen it directly addressed in TUSMA, or otherwise it'll be something outside of Too Smart on Aistear.
Siobhan, cad ceapan tusa? I'll leave you go first. And
well, I haven't spotted anything myself that's directly covering this. Of course, sentence structure is touched on, but not in detail. So I would say that if you are looking for more on sentence structure, it would be outside of the new Too Smart course, which is within Aistear. So it would be in one of our more original lessons, which is included in Aistear.
yeah, so I'm the same as Siobhan. I haven't seen anything, but to be honest with you, I don't think that will ever be a problem in learning how to form a sentence in Irish. The way that Too Smart is designed and the way that you go through the course itself, you build on your vocabulary and you start with your basic sentences. So it's not as if you learn a formula and you're trying to apply the formula to every sentence. I think it's done in more of a natural way, conversational way. You have this word and you build it into the sentence. You're given examples, more and more examples, bringing them into a conversation. So I think, in my opinion, it's a better way to learn it, because when people approach the grammar of Irish or any, of any language, and it's different to what their native tongue is, sometimes it can be very confusing and they feel like they have to learn, as I said, this formula of, okay, verb, subject, object. And then if something differs from that formula, you get even more confused. And there are sentences in Irish that don't begin with the verb. So it's the way that it's done, I think it's nothing that you have to actually worry about. You'll definitely be able to form a sentence by the end of Too Smart, hopefully, if you go through it in full.
Yeah, nice, yeah. I'd like to play our 2-minute intro video to Too Smart again, to give a flavour of what is on Aistear. We haven't mentioned the reference pack yet today, so it's rather than a course that you go through, our Aistear reference pack is a reference that we'll be adding more and more to. We are planning, we've had a team talk about this, about having part of it about dialects, community, so having specific lessons or, reference lessons that you can go back. And indeed, we could add more grammatical stuff as well, in addition to how you described it, Emma, of the practical examples. So I'm going to have to find this video really quickly. It's 2 minutes, away we go. When you come into Aistear as a member after signing up, you'll get this screen. This is the home page of Aistear, and it's the dashboard for your learning. Essentially, Too Smart is here, and you can also get to the Aistear reference pack, which will support you in Too Smart, and our standalone courses, our existing favourites, Sing a Song, Bitesize Yoga, Crack Irish Pronunciation, and if you're a Grow member, Bitesize Bill Scripts. If you're a Grow member too, instead of Explore, you have access to all our old Bitesize Course C courses. However, we will be developing these and replacing them with better content over time. But for now, they're there. When I click into Too Smart, it's a whole foundational course for learning the Irish language, and we're very proud of this. You get 10 modules, hundreds or thousands of audio recordings. These 10 modules cover practical, real life themes and topics, and in each of the modules you'll get like 9 or 10 individual lessons. So you can go to each of the lessons. For example, let's see, call someone by name. We'll go in there. That's a lesson. So all the lessons look fab. They look gohuntach ar fad. And you can go through, you can listen to all these recordings. Some of the recordings are pre-existing ones, and we've added hundreds more. We're working on adding phonetic spelling. Not all of the new recordings don't have them yet, but they will. And once you get to the end of your lesson, you tick the lesson as done, and then that's how you progress over the 10 modules of Too Smart. So that's what Too Small looks like. I can click on the logo to get back to the homepage of Too Small, and I can track my progress. So in each of the modules, it'll tell me how much I've progressed. And as I complete each module, I get learning certificate, a completion certificate. And we'll provide you with a certificate when you have 100% progress through Too Small as well. Really looking forward to seeing you there. And we have now 100 members on Aistear, as we said at the start. It's so nice to have our existing customers coming across from Bitesize Coursey into Aistear, and there's plenty of new faces as well. There was one more submitted question that I'd like to address. Others were like on specific grammar that doesn't apply directly to the course of Too Small or Aistear, right? So we leave it to another day. But Franco asked, said, I don't have anyone to practice with. Siobhan, we do have a solution for that, don't we? If you're looking to learn the Irish language and practice with others.
That's it, and that's Bitesize BO, so it's even better than many other alternatives to practice it. Well, when trying to practice, especially online with others, because you weren't stuck. You're not on your feet trying to think up a sentence. The sentences are there for you, but you also have the chance to create your own sentences. So that's why Bitesize BO is great for practicing. And even if you find that sort of system of scripts, if you find that a bit odd or you think it wouldn't help you, try it out anyway. And you'll see. I think everyone that has been to BO has always. I never got any negative feedback. It was always in regards how it's the whole system of scripts. The script. Everyone seems to see that the scripts are really useful for practicing one's Irish and improving.
Yeah, and indeed, Bitesize Pubble as well. This is all for Grow members. So if you're signing up today on Aistear, and the information is at the bottom of the screen, you'll get our launch offer, which includes your first month at half price. And if you choose the Grow option, it's not for everybody. If you're an active learner, I would say it's how you will get real use out of Grow. So Explore and Grow, those are two options. And they all get access to Too Small foundational Irish language course, and our favorite courses like Sing a Song in Irish, Crack Irish Pronunciation, and Bitesize Yoga. So for Grow members, you get access and invite to Bitesize Pubble. So Emma, you're our community manager, Bannister Pubble. How would you describe Bitesize Pubble? Who's it for? What's it for? And what happens on it daily as well as Bitesize BO?
Yeah, so I am the manager. I manage Bitesize Pubble. So I sign on every day. I'm there talking to people, typing to people more so than chatting in real life. But nonetheless, I still get to know all of the Grow members who log on there also daily. And I post a daily challenge for members. So on a Monday, we do reading. On a Tuesday, it's writing. Wednesday is grammar and vocab. Thursday is you to practice your fáiríocht or your pronunciation, and also your listening. And then on Friday, we do kind of a roundup. So every day you have a set challenge for you. So maybe you don't feel like logging on and doing a full course or a full module on Bitesize Aistear, but you still have the option to get your Gaeilge Gach law in there. So it might only take you 15 minutes. You might choose to spend half an hour writing a longer piece. It's really for everyone there of all levels. And I try to set the challenge to be as open as possible, that people of a higher level, of a beginner level, in the middle somewhere, everyone can benefit from it. And what I really like is that not only do I come back on and correct, or give answers to questions, I always say it, the members themselves create that community. It's an online community of learners. And not only do you get to chat to people every Tuesday, you also then get to build relationships with them daily by typing, you know. And I know you're not practicing out loud, but you definitely, you know, you need your writing practice as well. You use the dictionary, you have to go on and look at videos. I send you, you know, I send people on little quests to gather vocabulary. So it's a really active place, and, you know, it is what the members make it. I'm only there to direct everybody, you know. It's really the members that create that community, and I'm always so happy to see everyone is so positive, and the reinforcement that everyone gives and feedback, and everyone's just so lovely there. So it's a lovely, I love my job because I just have to come on and it's constant positivity and chats, and I feel like I have a lot of friends online here, and I'm sure that the members do as well. So it's a really, really nice place to be if you are trying to learn Irish and practice and meet other people.
So that's Bitesize Pubble again. Included, you get an invite to it in our Grow membership. If you're not up for Grow and learning with others, practicing with others, start on Explore. And again, the information at the bottom of the screen, because we have launched Aistear, our new Irish language learning platform, this week. We have the special offer of half price for your first month. Emma, if you'd like to shout out some comments, but I'll bring one up here about Beyond Public. So MK says Beyond Public are very helpful. Everyone is very helpful. There are all levels represented, so no need to feel like you have to be advanced. I should say we haven't set up the integration yet between Aistear and Bitesize Pubble, because we need to give a chance to our existing customers to come on over to Aistear, and then we can do a switch over. So we'll be doing that the following week. So if you sign up today after watching this, or while you're watching this, you won't have immediate access to Bitesize Pubble as a Grow member. So that's a heads up. So Emma, before we finish up, we won't do a full-length Q&A like we would from month to month. So Emma, would you like to call out any other comments you'd like to discuss and any shout outs?
Yeah, there's an interesting question here from Pather, and I think it would benefit everyone to hear the answer to this. So Pather is a Grow member, and he says, is it recommended to follow the modules in number order in Tusma to gain the most from it, or can you again jump in and out of different modules depending on your level? Gurv Mahagut. So Kesh Untuch Pather. Shall I answer that, or Kadich?
Yeah, I will make a note first, Emma, before going back to you. When we were designing Tusma over the past few months, we did have the question of like, do we force the learner to stay on, you know, Ceacht Hain, Module Hain at the start and only let you progress? And we decided against that. So we decided to give you the structure, but you're not forced to do so. So Emma, why would somebody maybe want to follow the path that we've set out in Tusma?
Well, I think it's a Tusma, it means a good start. And if you're starting from scratch with the Irish language, or you're coming back to the Irish language when, you know, you mightn't have spent years learning, you mightn't have spoken it or looked at it in however many years, maybe in school or so. So that's when Tusma, going through from number one right down to the end, would benefit you, because you start back at the Tus at the start, and it's nicely done, and you've a lot of, you know, you've repetition there, and it's not just information. It's nicely woven in together, and it refers back to earlier lessons. So as we looked at in, you know, Ceacht Do, and then it's nicely hyperlinked back. So if you do forget what we were talking about, an easy click will bring you back to that lesson. So for someone who's starting out or wants to really get back to basics and start from scratch and even relearn what they've already learned, Tusma, start to finish, no problemo. But Pather, I know you have you've experience with the Irish language, you've been learning it for a while, you know, and the nice thing again is that if you start on chapter 7 or lesson 7, whatever it might be, and it mentions something that you're not sure was mentioned, it should be hyperlinked back to that earlier lesson. So you can kind of, you know, you can jump in, and even if you get confused, it's nicely arrowed to back to where we were talking about. So something confuses you that way. But I think, Peadar, for you definitely, or for anyone who has a little bit of advanced Irish, you can hop in and out as you please, totally, and you will understand it as well.
What I do like in Too Smart as well is you can mark each lesson as done, but when you're ready to do so. So, you know, there's a good bit of content depending on the lesson, and you can whiz through the lesson if you want, or really study each line, whatever works for you. But there's often a quiz towards the end of the lesson, and there's like a manual checkbox where we get you to check off that you've covered the core concept of the lesson. So as you do that, you could sprinkle your progress through the modules, right? And you'll see where you have progress. So each module shows you your progress in that module. So you might want to go back, you know, you'll see your progress is maybe lower on an earlier module, and you say, right, I'm going to go back. So will we go on to any other questions or comments, Emma?
Kinta. So Cian saw George. So George says, I know it depends for everyone, but what is the difficulty of learning the Irish language? I started learning it and it was a little difficult. I have family all over Ireland and I want to gain the language. How do you happen, Shiv?
Siobhan?
Well, it's definitely true that it's a little difficult. That couldn't be denied. Now, when it comes to the difficulty of learning Irish, it isn't one of the most difficult or anything. But if it's going to be more difficult for you, I would say, than learning the likes of French or Italian, because they have closer ties to English. But in difficulty, I think it's going to probably be easier for you than, let's say, learning Polish maybe or something, because, or maybe it'll be about the same, because of all the grammar is a bit similar in the sense that you've got the genitive and everything. So there's lots of conjugations and stuff like that. So in that sense, but I wouldn't say it's much harder than, let's say, an English speaker learning a Slavic language. And if that Slavic language uses another font, let's say Cyrillic, then it's going to be, that would be harder, I would say, than learning Irish. Though you have to get your head around Irish spelling, because in one sense, Irish spelling, it can vary so much from the whole concept of English spelling that it might as well be in another font or another, so it's or another type. So so there's that to it. But again, when you think of it, French is a bit similar there. Lots of letters in French don't sound the way you'd pronounce them in English. So that's just the differences between European languages. So I don't think it's a terribly difficult language. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, simply for the reason that it's a minority language anyway. And because of that, it's not as easy to immerse yourself in Irish. It's not as easy to find as many resources. Maybe learning resources, yes, but not as many everyday situations. Of course, we have radio stations, we have TG Cahir, the television station, but compared to learning a major language where you have tons of radio stations, tons of different websites and books that will cater to anyone's interests, you are a bit more, you don't have as much variety in Irish. Though there are loads of books and different subjects and everything, it's just not as there isn't as much variety as you will find in a major language. So that you might find might keep you back a little. But if you work well with what is available, then there are loads of resources, and there are definitely loads of learning resources in Irish. Even there are a lot, especially for a minority language. So I would say it's of course going to be difficult, but I guess that's the thing, the beauty of it. When you have something good, it's often difficult to gain. But it's by no means an easy language. But again, what would be other than if you're coming from from the situation of being an English learner, then the only language that you might find easy would be a language that would be very similar to English. So it does depend on your background linguistically as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So don't let the start of it throw you off. Everything seems, allow yourself to get into the swing of it as well would be something I'd add to that. At the start, it can often seem more daunting, but when you get the hang of the basic grammar and how it's pronounced, you will probably progress faster than you think you will. Okay, so Ceist Ella, fan no made. So Ceist O Leo and son, do new Grow members also get the free trial things like ebooks, Gaeilge Gach Law, checklist, toolkit, Gurv Mahagov? Owen.
So Leo, that's something that we haven't ported over fully. The course is there, I think, but as far as I remember, it's not available. It's not set to be accessible yet. So Leo, it will be there. Why not? For Grow members signing up as well this week, we will be making available our paid products of our audio program, which is a big download, and our ebook about mastering a language. So, Leo, about your the Gaeilge Gach Law checklist, this is a set of resources that we have for Taster members, so free members on our old platform. I find them very useful. I love this type of interactive stuff where, for example, there are printouts where you can print out like a calendar and you can mark off every day that you've practiced Gaeilge Gach Law to keep you on track. For me, so having something visual like that is very handy. So Leo, they will be there, but they're not there yet. So lots of work to do ahead of us, but we're getting there.
Gohuntach. Agus Ceann Elanson o Roger, how much one-on-one time speaking with a tutor is included or available at Bitesize? So Roger, we were chatting about Bitesize Bio earlier on. We don't actually do one-on-one classes with Bitesize. It is we do a weekly call and you have a script and you are with all of the other members if you are a Grow member, and you get the chance to practice together in smaller groups, and then also time with the tutor as a class going through phonetics, grammar, posing your own questions, asking questions, and also then answering a question at the end to do with the script or the topic with the tutor. So you do get time to chat with other members and the tutor if you do have questions, but we do not do one-on-one time at Bitesize.
I'll jump in. There's one from Karen about Siobhan's beautiful voice, and we have Sing a Song in Irish. It's included on Aistear. It's a course. It's to learn Irish through singing 3 traditional Irish language songs. What I love about the idea of learning Irish through song, you won't speak the language because you learned the song, but it's a step, right? And it's like a scripted conversation. You follow a set of, predefined words and phrases, and you can study them, even though they might be a bit lyrical or artistic. You can study them and get the sense of what the song's about, what the verse is about. And it lets you practice. So you can practice on your own, and you can even show off and practice with others. And in the course, Siobhan takes you through the story of the songs. You read through the song, because you should be able to read the song before you can sing it. So yeah, I wanted to shout that one out. So Gramina Mahagut Karen. Emma, do you want to keep going if there's more we'd like to cover before we finish off this evening?
Yeah, Kinta. There was one there. Hang on, let me just pop back up. This is a good question, Owen, maybe directed towards you because you're the founder. Bitesize Irish appears to have brilliant potential. How big do you think it could become for you guys? Do you have plans to scale up to meet increased demands? You have millions of views on YouTube.
Yeah, like you can look at it both ways, can't you? In the early days of Bitesize, I was like a bit ashamed of how small it was. But then you look back and you appreciate what you have, like over 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, millions of views. Our audio recordings have been played literally millions of times. We've got hundreds of customers, thousands of people on our email newsletter. So we already appreciate, I think, as a team of what we have built. Now, yeah, there is potential. One big thing with Aistear is that it's available in euros and US dollar, British pound, and Australian dollar. We were limited to one currency, and for historical reasons, Bitesize Irish was selling in US dollar only. And I think we share this kind of shared purpose on the team of wanting to help more people in Ireland as well as outside of Ireland. So to broaden that. So we want to help people inside Ireland as much as we can, and we hadn't been doing that because we weren't available in the the country's currency. So it blocked people, or it stopped people from joining. So Emma, you've noted as well lately that more stronger Irish speakers have been joining Pubble. We've got more people in Ireland, or Irish people who maybe don't live in Ireland but live abroad now, but grew up in Ireland, so they had Irish at school. So all this. So it's a good, what's the term? A good circle, a virtuous cycle where you improve incrementally. And one thing that anybody here who is watching can help us with is to share the news of Bitesize Irish with, if you're attending an Irish language class, absolutely tell your teacher. Or if you're learning with people online, Facebook groups, or wherever you're interacting with people, that's what you can do to help grow Bitesize Irish. And we are open to institutional partnerships, or welcoming in groups of users from organizations or cultural centers. So we're definitely open to that. So do contact us through Bitesize Irish. And yeah, I really appreciate that question. Yeah.
I'm just having a look there. So there's lots coming in. Let me see. There's a couple of ones that are similar to what we already answered. So Corey asked, will there be an addition to speak with someone to practice conversation and listening comprehension? So we have our Bitesize Bio every Tuesday, as we've mentioned, and also just on your reading and more so conversational, I, as the community manager, hold a monthly call called the Gleach Cugger Mugger. So where we have a little chit chat and we also practice our reading. So I suppose listening comprehension by listening to others read their little piece, and also you get a chance to read out loud. We go through grammar. I'll answer any questions that arise, vocab, whatever it might be, and we answer some questions and ask some questions at the end as well. So you have a weekly opportunity, and then twice in 1 week, every month as well. So once a month I hold my call. Maybe I'll hype it up to 2 twice a month. But for now it's once. In Cian Ella and Son, let me have a look.
So Emma, I'll call one out if I. Oh, go on. Yeah. Which was the one I was?
Yeah. Maria asks, how much does the course cost, and how proficient would you be at the end of it?
Okay, so Maria, we've got monthly memberships, so there's no long-term contract. So you can become a member and cancel when you want. So there's not much to lose. The membership costs, the lower one is Explore membership, which is really a self-study membership. And it's, off the top of my head, €25 a month, or $29 US a month. And if you use our launch offer, the information is at the bottom of the screen, you get your first month half price. And then Grow, you'll see the pricing for Grow on that same page. So how proficient you would be at the end of it? You know, I've often come across people through Bitesize Irish who write into us and they say, you know, in a year's time, they want to be fluent in Irish, or they'll say, hold a simple conversation in Irish. You can introduce yourself. It's very hard to have a simple conversation as well. So in a way, it's a lifelong journey, and it's the journey that counts. Now, I'm not trying to cop out of how proficient you would be at the end of TUSMA, for example, our foundational course on Aistear. But it gives you the foundational knowledge that we think you should have when you're when you're active on this Irish language learning journey. So those things like the tenses that you know, you'll need to express yourself in everyday life, vocab for expressing yourself in everyday life, talking about yourself and professions, what you did at the weekend. Through the 10 modules, they're all practical. So at the end of TUSMA, you should be comfortable with the fundamentals of the language. But I won't say that you'll be proficient in being able to speak Irish. It takes much more than a single course to do that. But we think it's a positive and structured way to help you along on that journey.
I agree. You'll have a broad idea of many topics, but it's up to you as well to put in extra, you know, a couple of books maybe with that, but it'll get you started on the right track. And moving forward, then we will of course be adding more to Bitesize. So by the time you might get to the end of TUSMA and feel confident that you know everything at TUSMA, we'll probably have the next round, or it'll be on its way. Ceist Ella, John, knowing what I'm hearing is the hardest part. Help in that direction, and repeating it once I know it gets easier. So Siobhan, is that's kind of on your part.
Yeah, there's Bitesize Bio would help greatly, because you have the written word and the script. You have, before you even attend the live session, you can listen over again and again to a recording of the script. You have phonetics written out to help you if you can't really hear the recording too great, perhaps because of poor hearing, or maybe it just works better for you to be able to see it written in a different way. And so there's that, definitely. That's there's a Bitesize Bio, so that would be great. And also the whole of Bitesize, to be honest, the whole of Aistear, because all the words have recordings as well. So Owen has recorded each word, each sentence, each phrase. So you're going to be able to hear as well as see all of them, and also have those phonetic spellings to help you get a grasp of the pronunciation. So of course the phonetic spellings aren't going to be as precise as the Irish spellings, because that's why Irish is spelt the way it is, because it just conveys the sound so well. But at least it can help you along anyway. Maybe until you tune your accent maybe a bit better, or your pronunciation a bit better. But that's, so I think what you're looking for there to help you is there, and it's just to do that very regularly and as much as possible, and to persevere. That's the main thing, to persevere and to do it as regularly as possible.
Gaeilge gach. Emma, we have time, I'd say, to cover 2 more comments. So is there anything else you'd like to call out here? 2 more.
Kinta, 2 seconds. I'm trying to sift through them again. One from George. I suppose this is a more regular one, and this comes up quite a lot. What would you say is the easiest dialect or the best to learn for a beginner? I know you have 3 different, which have different pronunciation. Now we are a multi-dialectical team here at Bitesize, so I don't think we can anymore be anyway biased. Not that we really were at the start, but there's no easy answer to that. I've seen a couple of people answering that in the comments. I think it's down to your own preference. In Bitesize, we lean towards Munster and some Connacht, and that seems to be fine for everyone, but we don't dive into any dialect really deeply, and we try and keep it as, I suppose, standard. There is no standard spoken language, but we follow the standard spelling, and try and keep it as neutral, or forgive me for not having the right word, but I suppose accessible to everyone who you can go on and learn and follow on with whatever dialect you so wish to do. And we have, of course, Siobhan with Connacht and some Munster, and myself and Owen with Munster, and then Neil with Ulster Irish, and he's an excellent addition to the team. And of course, he's developing everything over on Bitesize Aistear, and he is very motivated to create courses on dialects as well, and differences between the dialects. So with whatever dialect you want to learn, that's up to you. Find your own reason. Maybe you just like the sound of it. Maybe you have family from that area. Maybe you know that area, you've been there. But don't let that stop you. If you just hear a Munster, person speaking, you will be able to go on and learn whatever dialect you so wish to without too much difficulty. I'd suggest buying a book or something just to give yourself that extra bit of support. But Ireland hasn't decided on the easiest one yet. And someone from Ulster will tell you that Munster is the hardest, and someone from Munster will tell you that Ulster or Connacht is the hardest. So it depends on who you're speaking to, in my opinion, anyway. If you've anything to add to it, Siobhan or Owen, you can.
I personally don't think one is harder than the other. I think if you find one thing is much easier, let's say one aspect of a dialect is much easier than the others, I think you'll find that another aspect of that said dialect is a bit more complicated. But I think generally they're about the same. Again, it would depend. If you've been to school in Ireland, let's say, and your teacher taught you Munster Irish, you're probably automatically going to find Munster Irish easier, or whichever dialect. So I think there's that, and you might also be just more, your ear might be more attuned to Munster Irish just from coming across it more often. It really does depend. But if you're completely new to Irish, I wouldn't say any of them. Any one dialect, I don't think any one dialect is harder than the other or easier. I don't see why any one of them would be.
Kinta. I'm just trying to see there. I don't see anything question more so. If Siobhan or Owen, feel free to grab any if you see any. One nice one just from Christina Morso comment. I'm looking forward to exploring the new website and material, Gur Mahagut. So Gur Mila Mahagut, Christina. I hope you enjoy it, and we're always open to feedback from all of our customers and members. We love to hear back from you if it's just a positive remark on what's going on, or if there's something that you're not sure of or you don't like, we'll take all sorts of feedback.
Turkish the one, so that we have a question here, maybe a one on the concept of a free trial. So I don't believe we covered that question.
It's a good question. We currently have taster membership. It's on our old platform, but it's a good taster of what the path of teaching that we've taken with Bitesize Irish. So search for Bitesize Irish taster membership, and that'll give you something. But I will also say that there's not much to lose if you do want to sign up at Aistear. Like, we'll cover you with the 30-day money back guarantee. We can offer a refund if you're just not happy with what you've come across. But it's a absolutely valid question as well. Like, you'd like to see what is, get a good taster of like Tusma. So yeah, it's something that we need to work on. But right now, the best answer is to find taster membership, or indeed sign up for the launch offer this week. It finishes Friday, and if you're really not happy, just ask us for a refund.
Yeah, super. I recommend the latter, actually, to see the new Tusma. Just on Kesh, hello, Father. A quick question on when will the scripts be available, and will this be when Pobble moves over on the 24th? This option is not available at the present for me.
Yeah, we were working on this today, Peter. Some members, Grow members, have access to the Bitesize Bio scripts now on Aistear, but you're probably seeing it grayed out. So every new member who joins from now on, the Grow members get it automatically, but it wasn't set up when we launched Aistear the first day. So just get in touch with us, send us a little email, and we can tag you. So I am trying to do a bulk apply of that for every member. So if you want to just sit tight, it should be sorted in the next couple of days. And will this also be when Pobble moves? So on the 24th of March, on Thursday, Bitesize Pobble will be switching over its login checking from the old Bitesize Coursey system over to Aistear. And so for any existing Bitesize Coursey members who are watching this who haven't come over to Aistear yet, check your emails for your offer, your members offer, and that will mean that you'll be over on Aistear in time for when Grow switches over. Yeah, so Padre, you should have access to the new scripts before that.
Come on. Kirkla Workhorja is Stolam Gershine. Just one nice comment there from Corey. Corey sent in a question earlier, and then he says that he just signed up for the Grow membership, looking forward to getting started. So Corey Gurmila Mahagut, you'll have access next week to Pobble as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing you over there on our online community. And yeah, get stuck in. And for anyone else who's signing up to Grow, I'm looking forward to getting to know you all a bit better and making some more friends wherever you all are in the world.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, while we've been talking, as well as Corey, Brian has joined as an explorer. Michael has joined as a Grow member, could be an existing member, and John in Explore. So very nice to have you in. Yeah, it was an hour's chat in the end, but lots of good questions. Not if she'd go all in. Yeah. So again, we'll finish on a thank you, Gurmina Mahaguv, everybody who's coming on this journey with us at Bitesize Irish. We're really excited that Aistear is now available, and our launch offer closes on Friday. That's the 18th of March. So time is starting to run out. So if you're thinking about joining Bitesize Irish, I'd recommend that you do give it a go, and there's no long-term contract, and you're covered by money-back guarantee. Membership is available in Euro, which we didn't have before. And if you join as a Grow member, especially if you're an active learner, I'd recommend Grow, and you'll see us on Bitesize Pobble and Bitesize Bio. So again, Garmina Mahagava Corda, and we leave it there. So Slán Liv.
Slán go fóill.
Slán go fóill.